Mr. Aslam was a rich man. He lived in a big, beautiful house on the edge of the city. The house had many rooms, tall windows, and a large garden. But tonight, the house felt empty. Mr. Aslam was alone. His family was far away, and most of his friends were busy. Only his dog, Max, stayed with him. Max was a big, strong dog with shiny black fur. He was loyal and always watched over Mr. Aslam. That night, the sky was dark and angry. Thunder roared loudly like a giant was shouting. Lightning flashed across the sky, lighting up the house for a moment. Then heavy rain started falling. The raindrops hit the roof and windows like tiny drums. The wind howled through the trees and shook the big house. Mr. Aslam sat in his favorite chair near the window. He watched the storm outside. He liked storms, sometimes because they made the world feel quiet and peaceful inside. But tonight, the storm did not feel peaceful. It felt strange. Max lay on the floor, but suddenly he stood up. His ears moved carefully. Then Max started barking, not just a small bark, but loud, wild barking. He ran to the door and barked more. His body was tense, and his eyes were fixed on the door. Mr. Aslam looked at Max. "What is wrong, Max?" he asked softly. But Max did not stop barking. He ran in small circles and looked outside through the glass door. The rain was still pouring. The thunder was still loud. But Max's barking was louder than the storm now. Mr. Aslam felt a chill. In his heart, he knew his dog was trying to tell him something. But he was scared. The storm outside was scary. The wind was strong. What if something bad was waiting outside? For a moment, Mr. Aslam did not move. He just watched Max. The dog's barking was strange, full of fear but also warning. Mr. Aslam's mind started to think fast. Could it be a thief or an animal, or maybe someone was in trouble? After some time, the barking stopped for a moment. Max sat down, but his eyes did not leave the door. Mr. Aslam's heart beat faster. He wanted to stay inside, safe from the storm, but the feeling inside him told him he had to see what was outside. Slowly, Mr. Aslam got up. He walked to the door. The floor felt cold under his feet. His hands trembled a little as he reached the door handle. The rain was still loud, and the wind pushed hard against the house. He opened the door slowly. A strong wind hit his face. The cold rain poured on him, but his eyes looked straight into the garden. The moon was hiding behind the clouds, so everything was dark and wet. Mr. Aslam's heart jumped. There near the garden gate, he saw a shadow. At first it was hard to see clearly. The rain blurred the view, but the shadow moved slowly. It was a person. The man was wet and shaking. He wore old clothes and his face was tired and sad. Mr. Aslam did not know this man. The man looked lost and scared. He did not say anything, but looked at Mr. Aslam with hope in his eyes. Max stopped barking now. He walked to the man and sat quietly beside him. The dog's tail moved slowly. It was like Max knew this man was not a danger. Mr. Aslam did not know what to do. He wanted to close the door and go back inside, but something stopped him. The man looked like he needed help. Maybe this storm had made him lose his way. Maybe he was alone and scared like Mr. Aslam felt inside. "Come inside," Mr. Aslam said softly. He opened the door wider. The man looked surprised but stepped inside the house quickly. The rain soaked his clothes and water dripped from his hair. Mr. Aslam closed the door and looked at the man carefully. He did not speak much. The man just sat in a chair and looked at the fire burning in the fireplace. The warm light made the man's face clear. He was older, with lines on his face. His eyes looked tired but kind. Mr. Aslam wanted to ask questions but did not know where to start. Max sat close to the man. The dog's eyes were soft now. Mr. Aslam felt a strange feeling inside. This night was not like any other. Something big was about to happen. But he did not know what. He went to the kitchen and made 2 cups of tea. When he came back, he gave 1 cup to the man. The man smiled a little. It was the first smile of the night. Mr. Aslam asked, "Who are you? Why were you outside in this storm?" The man looked at Mr. Aslam with deep eyes and said quietly, "I was lost, and running away from my past. Mr. Aslam was confused. He wanted to know more, but the man was silent again. Only the sound of rain hitting the windows filled the room. The clock ticked loudly. The storm outside kept roaring. Mr. Aslam felt that this meeting was not by chance. Max had barked for a reason, and now everything was changing. He sat back in his chair and watched the stranger. Questions filled his mind. What was the man's past? Why did he come here? And what would happen next? The night was long, but the storm was stronger, and Mr. Aslam knew deep inside this night was only the beginning of a new story. A story full of secrets, danger, and hope. The storm outside was still fierce. The rain kept falling like a curtain of water, and thunder echoed far away. But inside Mr. Aslam's big house, the fire was warm, and the strange man sat quietly, holding his cup of tea. Mr. Aslam watched him carefully. He wanted to understand who this man was and why he had come to his home on such a bad night. The man's clothes were wet and dirty, but his eyes showed something deeper, pain and fear. "Please," the man said softly. "My name is Rehan. I have nowhere to go." Mr. Aslam nodded slowly. He could see the sadness in Rehan's face. "Why were you outside in this storm? What happened to you?" Rehan looked down and took a deep breath. "I was once rich, like you, but money changed. Everything. My family left me, and people I trusted betrayed me. I lost my home, my friends, everything." Mr. Aslam felt a strange connection to Rehan's story. Even though he was rich, Mr. Aslam often felt lonely too. He understood what it meant to lose people because of money. "Why didn't you ask for help before?" Mr. Aslam asked. Rehan looked up. "I was afraid. Afraid that people would judge me. Afraid they would only see my past, not who I really am now." Max, the dog, moved closer to Rehan and rested his head on the man's knee. Rehan smiled for the first time that night. It was a small smile, but it showed hope. Mr. Aslam stood up and walked to the window. He looked out into the dark garden where the storm still raged. The wind pushed the trees and the rain hit the glass hard. "I will help you, Rehan, Mr. Aslam said quietly. "No matter what happened in your past, you can stay here as long as you want." Rehan's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you," he whispered. "I don't know how to say it, but this means more than you can imagine." Mr. Aslam smiled gently and came back to his chair. He sat down and looked at Rehan. "Tomorrow, we will talk more. Tonight, just rest. The storm will pass." Rehan nodded and closed his eyes. For the first time in many days, he felt safe. The next morning, the rain stopped and the sun came out. The house looked bright and warm. Mr. Aslam made breakfast for both of them. They ate quietly, but the silence was comfortable. After breakfast, Mr. Aslam and Rehan sat in the living room. Mr. Aslam wanted to learn more about Rehan's story, but Rehan seemed nervous. "I don't want to burden you with my problems," Rehan said. "But the truth is, I need help. Not just food or shelter. I want to start over." Mr. Aslam thought for a moment. "Everyone deserves a second chance," he said firmly. "If you want, I will help you. But you have to promise to be honest with me." Rehan looked into Mr. Aslam's eyes and nodded. "I promise." Over the next few days, they talked a lot. Rehan told Mr. Aslam about his past business, the betrayal of his closest friends, and how he lost everything. Mr. Aslam listened carefully. He shared some of his own lonely moments, too. Slowly, a friendship grew between the rich man and the broken stranger. Max stayed close to both of them. He seemed to understand that something special was happening. The dog's loud bark on that stormy night had brought two lonely souls together. One afternoon, as they sat in the garden, Mr. Aslam asked, "What do you want to do now, Rehan?" Rehan looked at the sky and smiled a little. "I want to live, honestly. I want to work hard and build a new life. But more than anything, I want to help others who are lost, like I was." Mr. Aslam was surprised. "That is a good goal. You have a kind heart." Rehan looked down shyly. I learned from my mistakes. I don't want others to suffer. Their friendship grew stronger each day. Mr. Aslam felt less lonely. Rehan felt hope for the first time in years, but outside some people still remembered. Rehan's past. They did not want him to change. They started watching the house. The stormy night was only the beginning of something bigger. That night Max barked again. But this time Mr. Aslam and Rehan were ready. They looked at each other with trust and strength. What do you think, Max? Is trouble coming again? Mr. Aslam asked with a smile. Rehan nodded. We will face it together. The storm was over, but a new challenge was about to begin. The millionaire and the man he saved were now connected forever. The days after the storm were peaceful at first. Mr. Aslam and Rehan grew closer. Their friendship was a rare light in a world full of shadows. Rehan worked hard around the house, fixing things and helping wherever he could. Mr. Aslam felt happier than he had in years, but peace did not last long. One evening, just as the sun was setting and painting the sky orange, a dark car stopped outside Mr. Aslam's big house. Two men stepped out. Their faces were cold and their eyes were full of anger. They knew who Rehan was. Inside the house, Max suddenly growled low and warningly. Rehan's heart began to beat faster. He looked out the window and saw the men standing by the gate. Mr. Aslam noticed Rehan's change in mood. What is it? He asked. Rehan shook his head slowly. They are from my past. People who want to hurt me. They believe I took what was theirs. Mr. Aslam's face grew serious. We won't let them harm you. But the men did not come to talk or make peace. They came with threats. That night, the men sent a message. A broken window at the front of the house, a warning in the dark. Rehan was afraid. He had tried to leave the past behind, but it was pulling him back. Mr. Aslam stood strong. You are not alone anymore, Rehan. I will protect you. We will face this together. Rehan looked at Mr. Aslam with gratitude and hope. Thank you. I don't know what I would do without you. The next days were tense. Mr. Aslam hired guards to watch the house. He called old friends for help, but the danger was real and close. One afternoon, Rehan found an old letter inside his jacket pocket. It was from his lost family. The letter was a cry for help, full of regret and pain. Tears filled Rehan's eyes as he read the words. They want me back, but I don't know if I can forgive. Mr. Aslam put his hand on Rehan's shoulder. Sometimes forgiveness is the strongest power we have, but you must be ready. Rehan nodded but kept the letter close. It was a piece of his past and maybe a key to his future. Meanwhile, the city buzzed with rumors about the millionaire who took in a mysterious man. Some people whispered about Rehan's past, some feared trouble, and some wondered if Mr. Aslam was making a mistake. But Mr. Aslam did not care what others thought. He believed in second chances. One night, while the guards were asleep, a shadow moved near the garden wall. The men from Rehan's past tried to sneak inside. Max barked loudly, waking everyone. Rehan and Mr. Aslam ran outside with flashlights. The men saw they were caught and ran away, but not before warning them. This is not over. The danger was growing. But so was the bond between the two men. Mr. Aslam said firmly, no matter what happens, we will stand together. You are part of this family now. Rehan smiled for the first time in a long time. Thank you, Aslam, for everything. As the night fell again, the storm clouds returned to the sky, a reminder that challenges were ahead. But for the first time, Rehan did not feel alone. He had found a true friend. Days passed, but the threat did not disappear. Mr. Aslam and Rehan grew more cautious. They stayed close, watching every sound and shadow outside the big house. One afternoon, while cleaning the study, Mr. Aslam found an old box hidden behind some books. Curious, he opened it slowly. Inside were letters, photos, and papers, secrets from his past he had almost forgotten. Rehan noticed Mr. Aslam's serious face. What is it? He asked gently. Mr. Aslam sighed. These are letters from a man named Haroon. He was my closest friend many years ago. But something happened between us. Something that changed everything. Rayhan sat down, interested. What happened? Mr. Aslam looked far away, as if seeing the past in his mind. Harun was more than a friend. He was like a brother. But greed and jealousy grew inside him. He betrayed me, tried to take my fortune, and even tried to harm me. Rayhan's eyes widened. So you had enemies before? Yes, Mr. Aslam nodded. And I believe the men threatening you now are connected to that past. Rayhan looked at Mr. Aslam in surprise. You think they are coming for you through me? Mr. Aslam didn't answer, but looked determined. We must find out the truth. These papers might hold the key. Together they began reading the letters. One letter mentioned a hidden safe in Mr. Aslam's old office. The safe contained documents that could prove who was really behind the past crimes. Rayhan felt a sudden hope. If we find those papers, we can stop this once and for all. Mr. Aslam smiled faintly. Yes, but it won't be easy. The past is dangerous. That night, they planned to go to the old office in the city. It was a risky move. The men watching Rayhan might be waiting, but Mr. Aslam said firmly, we cannot live in fear. We must fight for our peace. As the storm rumbled again, they prepared to face their darkest memories. Outside, Max growled softly, sensing the tension. The dog was no longer just a pet. He was a guardian. Rayhan looked at Mr. Aslam, feeling stronger than before. I'm ready. Let's find the truth. Mr. Aslam nodded. Together. The night was dark and full of unknown dangers, but the two men were ready to face whatever came. The next morning, Mr. Aslam and Rayhan prepared quietly. They knew this trip was dangerous. The old office was in a part of the city that had changed a lot over the years. Now it was almost empty, with many closed shops and broken windows. Max stayed close, watching carefully. As they walked, Rayhan's heart beat fast. He kept looking around, afraid someone was following them. Do you think those men will attack us here? He asked Mr. Aslam. Mr. Aslam shook his head. They might. But if we find the papers, everything will become clear. We need to be brave. When they reached the old office building, it looked sad and forgotten. The door creaked as they pushed. It opened. Inside, dust covered the floor and broken furniture lay scattered everywhere. Mr. Aslam's hands trembled as he looked around the room where he once worked. He moved toward a big desk, pulling open drawers carefully. Look here, Mr. Aslam said, pointing to a small safe hidden behind a painting on the wall. Rayhan helped him open it. The safe door was locked, but Mr. Aslam had the key from the box of letters. Inside were old papers and folders, dusty but important. Mr. Aslam took out a file and opened it slowly. His eyes widened as he read the documents. These are proof. Proof of Harun's betrayal. He took money, lied to the police, and planned to ruin me. Rayhan felt angry for Mr. Aslam. Why did you never tell anyone? Mr. Aslam looked down. Because I wanted to protect my family, but now it is time to fight back. Suddenly they heard footsteps outside. Both froze. Max growled loudly, warning them. Rayhan whispered, They found us. Mr. Aslam grabbed the papers and hid them in his coat. They moved quietly to the back exit, but as they reached the door, a group of men appeared in front of them. Going somewhere? One man sneered. Rayhan felt fear rise. The men looked dangerous, ready to attack. But Mr. Aslam stood tall. You will not stop me. I have the truth now. The men laughed. We'll see about that. Just then, Max barked fiercely, jumping between the men and the two friends. The dog's sudden attack surprised the men, giving Mr. Aslam and Rayhan a chance to run out. They escaped into the busy street, heart pounding. Rayhan looked at Mr. Aslam. We must be careful. They want to hurt us. Mr. Aslam nodded. Yes, but we have what we need. Now, we will show the world the truth. That night, safe inside the big house, they studied the papers again. They found more secrets, hidden. Counts, fake documents, and proof of Harun's crimes. Rayhan said, This will change everything. Mr. Aslam smiled, feeling hope for the first time in many years. The storm outside had passed, but their fight was just beginning. The next morning, Mr. Aslam sat in his study, papers spread across the table. Rehan stood beside him, holding Max's leash. The dog seemed calm now, but still alert. They all knew what needed to happen next. Mr. Aslam took a deep breath. It's time to tell the world the truth. Rehan looked surprised. You mean, go public? Won't that be dangerous? Mr. Aslam nodded. Yes, but silence is more dangerous now. If I stay quiet, Haroon wins. If I speak, maybe I lose everything, but maybe I get justice. Rehan smiled. Then let's do it. They contacted a famous news reporter, someone Mr. Aslam had once helped years ago. When she heard his voice, she was shocked. Mr. Aslam, you're alive? Yes, he said, and I have a story that will shake this city. Within hours, reporters gathered outside Mr. Aslam's house. Cameras, microphones, and flashing lights filled the front yard. Rehan stood close to him, nervous but proud. Max sat quietly near the gate, guarding them. As the reporters waited, Mr. Aslam walked out slowly, holding the thick folder of papers. He stood behind a small table and looked into the cameras. I was betrayed by someone I trusted, he began. For years I was silent. I let lies bury the truth. But today, that ends. The crowd went silent. Even the wind seemed to pause. He opened the folder and began reading parts of the evidence. Letters, bank documents, forged papers. He showed photos of Haroon and the bribes he gave to others. Step by step, Mr. Aslam told the story of how his best friend ruined his life, stole his company, and sent men to silence him. Gasps filled the air. This boy, he pointed to Rehan, helped me when I had no one, and this dog, Max, protected me when danger was near. Without them, I would not be standing here today. A reporter asked, Why now, Mr. Aslam? He paused. Because hiding has only brought me pain, and because I owe it to my family and to myself. As the conference ended, the reporters rushed to send the story to the news stations. Within 1 hour, Mr. Aslam's face was on every screen in the city. People were shocked. Some cried, some got angry, but one person, Haroon, was furious. That night, as Mr. Aslam and Rehan rested, a black car stopped near their gate. Max growled immediately. Rehan looked out the window and saw a man step out. It was Haroon. He was older now, but the anger in his eyes was clear. Mr. Aslam walked out calmly to meet him at the gate. You destroyed everything, Haroon shouted. No, Mr. Aslam replied. You did that to yourself, Haroon hissed. You'll regret this. You think the truth will save you. It already has, Mr. Aslam said, holding up a flash drive. This copy is already with the police, and more will go out tomorrow. Haroon clenched his fists but knew it was too late. He turned and got back into the car, disappearing into the night. Inside, Rehan looked at Mr. Aslam. Are you okay? Mr. Aslam smiled gently. For the first time in years, yes. He patted Max on the head. Because sometimes even a dog can sense evil. And sometimes a poor boy has a richer heart than a millionaire. Rehan smiled, tears in his eyes. The storm had passed, but something new was beginning. Days passed after the press conference. The city buzzed with the shocking news of Mr. Aslam's return. People who once believed he was dead were stunned. Some felt guilty for forgetting him so easily. Others were inspired by his courage. But while the world talked, inside that big house something more important was happening. Mr. Aslam sat beside Rehan's mother, who still lay weak in bed. A doctor had just finished checking her and smiled. She's recovering now, the doctor said gently. The medicine is working. Rehan couldn't hold back his tears. He hugged his mother tightly, whispering, You're going to be okay. Amma, finally. Mr. Aslam watched from the doorway, a soft smile on his face. He had kept his promise. Outside the house, Max ran freely in the garden, his tail wagging happily. The dark days were over. A week later, Police arrested Haroon based on the evidence Mr. Aslam gave. The fake documents, stolen signatures, and illegal deals were enough to sentence him. He had no way to escape. Justice had finally arrived, but Mr. Aslam didn't celebrate. Instead, he focused on rebuilding what was lost. One morning, he called Rehan into his study. "Sit down, son," Mr. Aslam said kindly. Rehan sat, confused. "Is everything okay, sir?" Mr. Aslam handed him a file. "I've been thinking. You're not just a boy who helped me. You're the reason I'm standing here today." Rehan opened the file. His hand shook. Inside was a certificate, admission to a top private school. All fees paid. There was also a bank document in Rehan's name. "I've opened a savings account for you," Mr. Aslam said. "This money is for your future, college, dreams, whatever you choose." Rehan's lips trembled. "But sir, why me?" Mr. Aslam leaned forward. "Because when I had nothing, you gave me half a roti. When I was in danger, you didn't run away. That kind of heart is rare." Tears rolled down Rehan's face. "I just did what anyone should." "No," Mr. Aslam said firmly. "Most people walked past me that night. Only you stopped. That's what makes you different." Rehan stood and hugged him. Mr. Aslam hugged him back like a father. Later that day, the three of them, Mr. Aslam, Rehan, and his mother, sat in the garden having tea. Max rested at their feet. Rehan's mother looked around. "I still can't believe we're here." Mr. Aslam chuckled. "Life is strange. One night changes everything." Rehan smiled. It was the night Max barked. They all laughed. The memory of that stormy night felt far away now. Mr. Aslam looked at Rehan. "I have one more idea." "What is it?" Rehan asked. "I want to build something in your name. A center for poor children. A place where they can study, eat, and feel safe." Rehan's eyes widened. "Really?" "Yes," Mr. Aslam said. "We'll name it the Rehan Hope Center." Rehan shook his head, in disbelief. "But I'm just—" "You're a symbol," Mr. Aslam interrupted. "Of kindness, of courage, of doing the right thing even when it's hard." Months passed. The Rehan Hope Center opened in the city. Hundreds of children from the slums came every day. They got food, books, and love. Rehan often visited after school, helping younger kids with reading. Mr. Aslam rebuilt his company but ran it differently this time. He gave jobs to honest people. He helped small businesses. And every time someone asked why he changed, he smiled and said, "Because of a boy and a dog." Max became famous too. People called him the Loyal Guardian. Mr. Aslam even wrote a book about their journey. One night, a reporter came to Mr. Aslam's home to interview him. "What message do you want to give the world?" the reporter asked. Mr. Aslam thought for a moment. Then he said, "Sometimes the richest people are not the ones with money. They are the ones with a good heart. I lost everything once. But I found something greater, love, truth, and hope, in a boy who had nothing to give, except kindness." He paused and added, "And I will spend the rest of my life passing that gift forward." As the camera turned off, Rehan walked in with Max. "Ready for dinner, sir?" he asked with a grin. Mr. Aslam stood up. "Only if Max gets the first bite." They all laughed, walking into the house together. Outside, the sky was clear. No storms tonight, only peace, only new beginnings.